Hey, Jerry Fetta here, owner, founder, and CEO of the Wealth Dynamics brand. I want to give you this week's Fitness Friday. I want to talk to you about how do you make sure you don't get injured working out, right? Now, this is something that, fortunately, I've never had any serious injuries. I'm turning 31 next month. It's that age where everyone's like, oh, your back's gonna give out, your knees are gonna give out, you're 30, your libido's gone, your drive is gone, you're an old man now. No, I haven't experienced that at all. So I haven't really had any serious injuries. I tend to be in good shape. Part of that is because I do preventative things to avoid being injured, and I want to talk about what those are today. Now, if you stay to the end of the video, I'm going to recommend a few specific nutritional products that I would use if you're working on, body, fitness, working out, gym, all that kind of stuff, and you're like, yep, I want to make sure I stay healthy, not just in the sense of I'm, working out, but I'm preventing myself from getting injured. So stay tuned to the end of the video to see what those are. Okay, Fitness Friday. So we're gonna talk about how to not get injured, right? There's being healthy from the standpoint of like I worked out, right? I built muscle, I burned fat, I did well with my nutrition, I did my supplementation, I got enough rest, I've been hydrating. All of these are important, right? There's one little thing that never gets talked about, and that one little thing is if you get injured, you're not healthy, right? That's part of being healthy. Like staying in shape is not being hurt, right? So if I'm hurt, I'm physically not well. And so therefore, that's part of what we need to talk about, right? Wealth, abundance, and prosperity in all dynamics of life. We're talking about physical right now. I need to make sure that my physical health is good from that standpoint, right? So here's the thing I want to go over first. The thing I want to cover first is using good form in the gym, right? Form is senior to everything. So if you go to the gym and you're there to do what I call ego lifting, where you're, doing curls and you're swinging your back, trying to throw the heaviest weights up as possible. And you're just, in there trying to look strong and you're not actually using good form and doing slow rep ranges, those types of things, that is going to lead to injury, right? Because you're not in control over what's happening. So you have to realize, like, if I'm doing a bicep curl, we've talked about this before, there's a movement pattern with my elbow. My elbow naturally goes in a certain direction. Okay, so my goal is to stabilize the upper arm and make my bicep muscle move the elbow in the direction it's supposed to move with weights attached. Okay, that does not involve my lower back. That does not involve my legs. It's literally, I should brace my arm against something and go as slow and controlled as I can and flex that bicep. Okay, if I do that, I'm preventing injury, right? The reason why is I'm not putting a bunch of ballistic exercise and movement. Ballistic meaning it's very erratic and spontaneous and it's like, boom, it's firing off very quickly. No, I don't want that, right? When I'm doing a movement, I've got the muscle, okay? I've also got the joint, and then there's also tendons and stuff involved too. And I need to make sure that all those things are aligned, like the bone, the muscle, the tendon, the joint, and all of those things are firing the way that they should be so that I don't get injured, right? So if you're doing that, great. Now, if you're doing that and you're to the point where you're adding muscle and you're building strength, naturally you're going to increase your weight. Okay, so you're going to get to a point, and I've gotten to this point several times, where your muscle is stronger than maybe your joints, bones, and ligaments, right? And so an example of this is, not many people know this, I've naturally got pretty small wrists, okay, which was really good for basketball. It's not really good for lifting heavy weights. So when I get to a certain point, let's say on like presses, my wrists tend to want to give out. Okay, I also have very tight forearms and I have, tight elbows because I would do really heavy presses when I was a competitive bodybuilder. So I would do like incline dumbbell presses with 110 pounds in each hand, right? My pec muscle could handle that. My elbow, not so much, right? My wrist, not so much. My forearm, not so much, right? So there's a lot of tightness there. And so that's part of what occurs is you start loading the muscle up and the supporting elements of your body might not be as strong. Okay, and so because of that, you're going to start wearing down. You might start feeling things like elbow pain or tightness in your forearms, or your wrists might start being, popping, and you might start feeling circulation issues or things of that nature, right? If it's legs, you might start feeling in your hip flexors tightness, or your glutes are tight, or you've got back pain, or, knee issues, whatever it might be. And so what I like to do is when I'm working out and I'm really going hard for a period of maybe 1 or 2 or 3 months, and I start feeling these little nagging, elbow pains or shoulder pains or whatever, I do what's called a deload. Okay, a deload means that I'm going to give myself a break. Okay, now if you're like me, you hate the idea of it. You're like, I don't want a break. I like being active. I like being in the gym. Just hear me out. When you're in the gym, you're tearing your body down. Okay, when you're out of the gym, you're giving it fuel and allowing it to recover, right? So that's the sequence. Go in for the minimal amount of time with maximal intensity, tear your body down as fast and hard as you can, then get out, eat, sleep, drink water, supplementation, so it can rebuild and recover, right? Now, if I'm to the point where I feel elbow pain, let's say I'm doing a tricep extension, my overhead, and I'm starting to feel elbow pain, right? Obviously that means first things first, my form is probably up. I'm going heavy enough to a point where my form is not in and I'm not aligned with that movement pattern, and that's why I'm feeling that elbow pain, right? So some adjustments in form can happen, but for me, if I'm at the point where I'm already feeling elbow pain, I need to give that area a break and let that elbow heal, right? Now, you're not gonna suddenly lose muscle, right? Working out breaks the body down, and then all the rest, the nutrition, the supplementation builds the body up. Therefore, if I remove the workout, we're talking like a week or two, I remove the working out, I keep the nutrition, I keep the supplementation, I keep the rest, I keep the hydration, I'm not gonna suddenly shrink, right? Like for me to shrink, I would have to like quit eating protein, quit taking my supplements, not get myself enough rest. Okay, same thing if I'm trying to lose weight, like going to the gym, like sure, I can work out, that does burn calories, but if I give myself that deload period of a week or two, I'm not gonna suddenly start gaining weight unless I didn't adjust my calories down, right? Obviously, if I'm not working out anymore and I'm eating the same amount of food as I was eating when I did work out, I'm now over-consuming calories. So yes, I will gain weight. And if I gain weight, I can't be shocked when that happens. I need to bring them down a little bit, right? So as long as I bring them down a little bit, I can afford to take that little bit of time off. Sure, I might be a little bit hungrier, but I'm not gonna lose progress, just like I wouldn't lose muscle, right? So you wanna, kind of offset with the nutrition and the supplementation based on whether you're trying to build muscle, lose weight, whatever, okay? Now, the other thing that I like to do to prevent injury is I like to make sure if I am feeling, issues and stuff in elbows, joints, hips, whatever, I like to do stretching, I like to do foam rolling, and I like to do what's called trigger points, okay? So stretching, we all know what that is. If I'm stretching, I'm gonna make sure that my muscles are limber, I'm gonna make sure that I stretch out any tightnesses, and that's gonna reduce and prevent injury, okay? And a great time to stretch is actually after your workout. I don't tend to stretch before. I wanna do dynamic movements for my warm-up. So if I'm doing squats, I'm not usually stretching my legs. I'm just gonna go do light squats, and I'm gonna go really deep and slow, and I'm gonna get the blood flowing and stretch that way. And then after the workout, I'll stretch, and that actually helps with my recovery, okay? The other one is called foam rolling. So foam rolling, if I've got tightness in an area, I can roll it out on a foam roller, and that's gonna get into the muscle tissue, and it's gonna help massage it, get blood flowing, and just get the area, kind of more relaxed and stretch it out a little bit more. The last one is called trigger points, okay? Trigger points are where you end up getting like knots and tension, right? So an example of this would be that you might have trigger points right on the middle of your back by your shoulder blade, right? So if you get a lacrosse ball or a golf ball and you put it against the wall between your back and the wall and you press on it, you can push it into that trigger point or that pressure point, and it's gonna hurt like a bitch. Realize you're gonna wanna cry when you do this, okay? But that releases a bunch of tension and it lets that muscle loosen up, okay? So that's gonna help you with preventing injury as well. Now, the other one I talked about, and I'm gonna give you this, as just my final tip. So here's some supplementation you can do as well, right? So there's a supplement called collagen. Okay, collagen isn't just for women who wanna have nice face skin. Collagen is a building block of muscle, ligaments, skin. Like your body uses that to produce the cells that it needs for those areas, right? So what I would do, and this is something that I used to do and I'm gonna get back on now because I'm starting to feel some of these things. I just did my deload. So I'm gonna start doing collagen again. And in the morning, I would do a collagen protein shake. And what that does is it gives me collagen protein, which is actually typically made from bone broth, right? So think about like I'm trying to rebuild muscles and keep my body strong. And it's not really the muscle itself. It's more like the ligaments and tendons and stuff in the bones. That collagen really helps with that. Right, the plus point of that is it also is good for your skin. So you will have nice skin, and that's gonna be an added bonus, but that's something you can supplement with preventatively to give your body the nutrients so that it stays strong in those areas and you're not experiencing the pain, the injuries, and those types of things, right? Now, if you do get injured, the first thing to do is don't keep doing the thing that injured you, right? Like I've never had a serious injury, fortunately, and that's because when I feel pain on something, I don't keep doing that thing, I stop. There's a difference between my thighs burning because I'm doing leg extensions and the muscle is being worked versus my knee hurts, My knee is not supposed to hurt. So if my knee hurts, I quit doing the thing. The machine at my gym now, the hamstring curl, it started hurting my knee. I don't do the hamstring curl anymore, right? Like pain is your body communicating to you. So you can supplement, you can do all this stuff, but also listen to your body, right? So if you're interested in getting the collagen protein that I mentioned and learning about that, I am a First Form Legionnaire. I use First Form supplements for my own working out, my own fitness and nutrition. They're the very best supplements on the market. So if you go to the link in the description, you can click there and you can check out more about the collagen protein that I mentioned. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe. I'll see you next time.